we go. What's up, everybody? Just going to do a little quick test before we actually officially start the show. Just want to check in with everybody, see how you guys are doing, chat. What's up? Thank you so much for being here. And, I'm going to fix a little video tile here, you know what I mean? I'm going to fix some video tiles, make it look nice. Tell me what's up, everybody. Let me know if audio levels are good. Please, dear God, let me know if the audio levels are good before I freaking go live. That's why the video got taken down. If you guys were wondering, after last week's episode, I had to take the video down and re-upload it because there was a loud, annoying, noise, like a buzz noise coming from my microphone. All right, so guys, please let me know if you hear anything like that coming through. All right, so there we go. I just want to make sure everything's set. Boom, boom. Oh, you know what? I should probably let people know on Twitter that we're live.
I was just thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
Should post that out that we're live.
All right.
We live.
Get ready to repost for you here.
Yeah. I'm gonna tag everybody. Chat, sound off. Let me hear you. Let me see you. FF7 music. We got a great panel right now, man. I'm excited. I'm excited about this. So I know FF7 is FF7 music is excited. I have a story to share.
I have a lot of feelings about Final Fantasy 2. They're good. They're good feelings, but yeah, got a bone to pick with this fandom. all these people crapping on a perfectly legitimate game.
Perfectly legitimate. Come on.
I think you're in good company. I think it goes beyond legitimate.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
this is a good game.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying not to dive into it or prematurely. So, but
save the hype.
Yeah. Like I said, I can't be like the warrior over here. I have to store it up. You know, like a boss preparing for his big attack. You have to store the energy first.
A limit break, right?
I've drank about 10 milligrams of caffeine, and I'm feeling it, baby. Let me tell you, man, 10 milligrams coursing through my veins right now. There it is.
All right.
Yeah, I got it live right there. You know what, though? I should probably pour it in my sweet mug.
Oh!
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I saw that.
Mm-hmm. Hell yeah, baby!
Very nice.
There we go. Satisfying. Does that get blown out, though? Like it's blown out, done. You can't even see it.
We see it in our hearts.
We know what it is.
It's a very recognizable logo. I mean,
There we go.
You know what's funny? That's actually the first time I've seen one in motion. I actually have never seen one in person.
Yeah, I mean, if I want to drink with my left hand, I get the logo out. Now, if I want to drink with my right hand, I advertise our episode.
See?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. That was the thinking, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right or left-handed, you know?
Bro, how do you feel about it being the chalice of hype right now? You know what I mean?
The chalice
of hype right now, dude. There's a lot of caffeine.
We're gonna see Wade blush.
Let me change these lighting effects.
Woo! There's a lot of caffeine in that, baby. All right, I think that's good. Boom. Let's see what's going on over here. Chat's quiet. I don't like it. I don't like chat. Get
Too
hype.
quiet.
Come on, chat.
Come on, chat. Get hype.
Come on.
Is it because all the FF2 fans are on this panel right now?
hey, you'd be surprised, man. My I haven't seen this many notifications in a long time, y'all. I posted. I said,
really?
I see. Yeah.
I said, say something nice about Final Fantasy 2, and come on, man.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. For a second, I thought this said it was the greatest thing the series ever created, but I read that way too bad. Way too voices. Caffeine's getting ahead of my words. It brought the greatest thing ever created in the series, and it was a chocobo. Okay. So like,
Yes,
a
it
lot of
did.
people, man, a lot of people chimed in on that when I said say something nice. There are dozens of us.
Literally
I was
like-
just about to say I have an FF2 super fan in my Discord server, and that's Val.
Is
over
it
there.
Val? All right, awesome.
Oh yeah,
Glad to have you here.
He's a big FF2 fan.
Glad to have you here, Val. Valerian
Name.
Steel.
I was saying you guys would never guess by his PFP or username like which one of his favorite Final Fantasies is.
Robin's
Maybe his favorite.
We're fighting for Final Fantasy II's legacy. Is what Prof said.
Got to.
I thought I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm glad I'm not reading the story synopsis, Wiley, because I just read.
I'll be all right.
I read FF7 music says you're not doing anything on the Friday night. Come join us. But it says if you're not doing anything on this Friday night.
Well,
It was a little more nice.
yeah. Try not to be like too high pressure.
High pressure starts with hype.
That is true. I would leave that to you, sir.
All right, y'all. Let's get into it so that way we're not taking Jin up until the dawn.
I don't mind. Don't worry about me.
The
I've had the
dawn
caffeine
of
too. It's going to kick
souls?
in. It's going to kick in somewhere.
Taking Jin to the dawn of souls. All right, y'all. Let's do this. Take a sip.
Take another one. Just one more.
Like a Luke Bryan song.
Just chug it. All right, here we go. What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Final Fantasy Entertainment and Podcast Network, Final Fan TV. Today, we are talking about...
Someone's excited.
Yeah, baby, let's go!
Final Fantasy 2!
Arsenio!
Bringing the hype right now.
I told FF7 Music to bring the hype. He said, yeah, let's go!
Thought that was a planned soundbite. Like,
Oh,
I did too. Guys,
my
speak
dog-
dog
my dog
and
knows.
beeper.
The first
FF2
random
was my dude.
encounter.
The first. That's wonderful. All right, this is our Final Fantasy II ranked and awarded. I guess we'll call it, because we're changing it up from reviewed and ranked. We're gonna give it awards today. We're gonna go through the story synopsis provided by JD Wiley. What's up, JD Wiley? And you heard his dog. We also have FF7 Music over on Twitter. What's up?
Hey, man, my dogs are ready. I'm ready. Let's get this going. Yeah, the Hellhounds. The Hellhounds.
The Hellhounds are here. FF7 Music. You know what's great? Do you mind if I'm just calling you Steven? I'm gonna call you Steven.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course.
So Steven, I had sent Steven a message because we had to postpone from last week. We had to reschedule. And I sent him a message and I was like, hey, is it okay if we reschedule over to October 11th on a Friday? And he went, it's fine, like, period. I don't even know if there was a period. And I said, whoa. You're talking to the warrior of hype here. I'm gonna need a couple exclamation marks. All right. I mean, give me something here. And then he wrote back and he said, yes, on October 11th, the year of our Lord 2024. It sounds like a perfect date. Love it. That's the hype I wanted. And then
Best regards.
I'm going all over the screen. But to my right of the screen here, that is Prof. Noctis. What's up, man?
I didn't know if I was to your right or left or what. I was like, oh, I guess it's me. What's up? What's up, everybody?
Just a heads up. I was on the Prof. Noctis show. All right. And it was a gift in
Was?
itself. It was a gift in itself to be on the show. And he sent me a mug.
Banger
Why,
episode.
why don't you send mugs, man? Come on.
No shit.
I should have like 5 mugs by now, dude.
Like
come
I
on.
said,
Second random encounter.
the second.
Whoa.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, hold on a second. You are like, it's a gift. Like I said, it's a gift in itself to be here. Okay, and then right down here, right down here, that is Genesis 7. Let's go, baby.
Let's go.
What's up,
everybody.
man? Now, the crazy cool thing about this is that Genesis, over on Genesis's channel, has done like a cool platinum series where he's already played through every single game, getting the platinum, and then talks about it. So it's freaking awesome. Go over there and check that out, as well as a kind of a companion to this series, and you know, and it'll be great. I'm glad to have you here, Jen. Thank you.
Oh, thanks. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and then down here in the corner of your bottom left corner of your screen, that is the J.D. Wiley, the Pictomancer. Yo, Jim, bro. What's up, man? I don't know. We haven't came up with a name yet. What's going on? Yo, Jim, bro. What's up, dude?
We'll roll with it. Roll with it.
Whoa!
Oh!
Dude, you look like you had an extra set of arms, too, man. Now you're Gilgamesh. Yo, Gilgameshinger, bro.
We're not up there yet. We're not to that game yet.
Angel of Death.
The Angel of Death. What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing well, brother. How you doing?
Oh, man, this is great. I'm glad to have you here. As everybody should know, the thumbnail art that you saw at this starting soon screen and right here on YouTube, that was actually done by Wiley. So thank you for that. It's awesome. All right, so
My
we're going to get right into this show. The way that this works, let me kind of break it down for everybody watching. The way that this is going to work is I'm going to run you through some cool fun facts about Final Fantasy II. And then we're going to dive right into some story synopsis or story recap provided by Wiley. And at that point, when he's going through the story, the panelists are encouraged to kind of jump in and talk about certain scenes or certain moments or certain gameplay aspects and kind of just, you know, bring that conversation along as we go through the story, and it kind of refreshes your memory on the stuff that happened. It's a great time. It's a great time. But also, to kind of throw a little bit more into this, like I said at the top, this is going to be an awards show. So we are going to give out cool awards for Final Fantasy II on certain categories. And some of those categories include best, well, we're going to talk about this in a little bit, best playable character, best non-playable character, best moment, best battle, best command, what? Best level design, best music, best character design, and Final Fantasy II's Impact, the Impact Award. All right, and then what that's going to do is these awards are going to be nominations. They're going to be nominees for the finale of this podcast series, which is going to be the Final Fantasy Awards show. At the very end, we're going to take all of our nominees, all of our awards for each game, and they will represent that game in the grand mainline series, and then you will get to vote on what is the winner. So it's really exciting, and I would like to make that Final Fantasy Award show as big as I possibly can for a small channel like mine. So we're going to try and do that. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a great time. So thank you for being part of the beginning of this journey. Hopefully, as we go along, people will catch on. They'll be like, oh, we got to go back and watch them, because let me tell you what, these things need some help. But I love doing them. I love doing them. You know what I mean? And me and JD, we've spent a lot of time on these shows, man. My God, we have spent a lot of time on this. All right, so let's get into some introductions on, I guess, a little snippet of your review, like what your thoughts are on Final Fantasy II. What version of the game did you play? And then that way it'll kind of get everybody's mindsets in there. So remember, like I said, a little snippet, little paragraph. We'll start with Steven from FF7 Music there.
Oh, okay. I'm kicking it off. So I actually played the game for the first time as part of the Final Fantasy Origins PS1 collection. Honestly, I'll be completely blunt, I do not remember like really anything about the game from that playthrough. But when I got the Pixel Remaster Collector's Edition for Switch last year, I of course replayed it, and having basically not remembered anything about it, it was almost like a first time playthrough for me, which was really cool. And by this point, I had heard all of the negative discourse and stuff, so I was just kind of expecting, like, if I don't remember anything about it, probably didn't like it that much anyway. So I was blown away when I replayed it. And I did take advantage of some of the Pixel Remasters features, so definitely keep that in mind when I'm talking about some of that stuff. But yeah, I mean, I played it last year, and I was like, I don't know why people are crapping on this game so much. This is amazing. And yeah, I mean, that's my short paragraph.
That's exciting because you're coming at it from a different perspective, because I personally played the Pixel Remaster, so I'm kind of curious on where everybody else is at. So let's go down to Prof Noctis.
Yeah, so I've played a bunch of different iterations of this game. I played an emulated ROM back in the day. That was I think a fan translation or something like that.
Yeah.
It was fine, but a little janky. But I enjoyed it. I played I believe the Origin version, and then I have played most recently the Pixel Remaster. And I love the Pixel Remaster. I think it is personally the definitive way of playing it, but there is something special about that old school style from that original thing. This game I really, really love, and we'll get into it, but I appreciate it for so many things. And I think that Final Fantasy II is the Final Fantasy that showed almost like a proof of concept, where the first one was like, okay, well, this is a lot of different things, like Dungeons and Dragons, it can be like Ultima. Final Fantasy II began to chart its own course in a narrative driven story game, and I really feel like that is the legacy of it. I love it.
Yes. Genesis.
Well, my humble beginnings are much like Final Fantasy 1. So, we've got Final Fantasy Origins just here.
Yes.
Nice pink disc here over in European PAL territories. Then I went and ventured over to what I think is one of the best versions, which is the PSP version. That's the one that I really got into. When it came to the PS1 version is really slow. And it really it's got awesome CGI cutscenes for the intros. But the game on the PS1 just wasn't that great. PSP version's where it's at. And then, of course, I came prepared. We've got the Pixel Remaster here.
Yo, does that look sealed?
It's still sealed.
Yeah, that's a smart move. I like that. That's a good move.
I wasn't one of those people that are trying to sell it for millions of dollars / pounds. But Final Fantasy 2, in a nutshell, and this will kind of set the scene for the whole kind of evening / night / morning, is that it ain't that bad. It ain't that bad,
yo.
It ain't that
bad. Wiley, where are you at with this?
All right, so I also played Final Fantasy II on Origins way back in the day. Don't remember that at all. But I played it within the last month or so. Pixel Remaster, pretty fresh in my mind, and yeah, definitely the definitive way to go. What stood out most to me was definitely the story. I mean, the first game story is so minimal, right? And number 2 just comes out the gate with a fully fleshed story, strong thematic parallels to John Milton's Paradise Lost, which I'll talk about in greater detail later. Okay, characters with personality, stakes, character depth, character growth. Story's just leagues better and more detailed than the previous. So it's just story's where it's at, really, for me.
Absolutely. All right, and then I already kind of said that I played for this review, and for pretty much any review going on forward through the Pixels series is going to be Pixel Remaster. So I've been enjoying these games through the Pixel Remaster again. My first experience was on the game. Was it? It might have been Origins. It might have been. All I know is that when I had Final Fantasy Origins on PS1 and the Anthology on PS1, with Final Fantasy 5, I remember I didn't like them. And this was me, right after Final Fantasy 7, Final Fantasy 8. This is right after those freaking amazing experiences. And then going back to the pixels, I was just like, I'm not digging it. And that was a me thing. And then I did get them on the Game Boy, yes. So I started with Origins, then I got them on the Game Boy Advance, Dawn of Souls. And I really did enjoy Dawn of Souls. I remember that, but I don't really look back fondly on it. It wasn't one of those things where like, oh man, that was incredible. It was just kind of like, oh yeah, I did that just to pass the time or something like that. So playing it recently, the Pixel Remaster version, I'm like, dude, this is freaking awesome. so I just fell in love with Final Fantasy 2 for this playthrough, and I'm excited to talk about why I think this game is really cool. And I know that it ends up in bottom tier on a lot of people's rankings list, and I'm like, come on, y'all, ain't that bad. Ain't that bad, as Genesis would say.
They should put that on the box. Ain't that bad?
It's actually right. Yeah,
That's it.
Yeah, right there on the back. Ain't that bad, y'all? Ain't that bad, y'all? Is what it says. So now let's walk into some fun facts. But before we do, I kind of want to throw something out there for you. Okay, this is gonna be a little mini game in this episode. And this is for you too, chat. Got 2 mini games happening in this episode. So chat, pay attention. Panelists, pay attention. Because each of you were sent a key phrase that you will try and work into this episode as many times as you possibly can before somebody asks you about it. All right, you know what I mean? Final Fantasy 2 mechanic right there. So you got to throw it in as many times as you can before somebody asks you about it. Now, you only get 2 asks, all right? Once you're done with and that goes for the entire panel, all right? So only use your asks wisely when you think you got it. Chat, you can keep up with it as well. There's a secondary mini game going on that will pop up out of nowhere. It'll be a random encounter, and I've asked anybody to just kind of jump in with it. And chat, you can do that as well. You can jump in with a hypothetical. You give one of us a hypothetical. So you're going to target that panelist and ask them a hypothetical question. You could be like, would you rather? You could do a this or that thing. You could do something that could be answered pretty like it has to be instantly answered. And that goes for you panelists as well. You can just target somebody and just do it. All right. Those are the 2 mini games that will be going throughout the episode. And then it's time for some fun facts, y'all. Okay. We walked into an empty room there. Go into an empty room. Whoops. All right. Fun facts. Final Fantasy 2 was released in Japan December 17th, 1988. The director was Hironobu Sakaguchi. Scenario was Kenji Terada. Character design, of course, it's Yoshitaka Amano, y'all. Come on. The pixel artist returning from Final Fantasy 1 as well was Kazuko Shibuya. And the game design was Hiromichi Tanaka, Akitoshi Kawazu, and Koichi Ishii. In a recent Pixel Remaster interview, Sakaguchi credited Kawazu, saying the game was strongly colored by Kawazu. Kawazu also came up with the name Firion, as Sakaguchi jokingly said, I would have never called him that. And Akitoshi Kawazu was also the one who pitched the new progression system that would have individual stats level up the more you use them. Again, Kawazu had a strong impact on the development. He's almost essentially the game director, if you will, but of course that went to Hironobu Sakaguchi. But he was definitely in charge of the game design and everything like that. The music composer, we know him well, Nobuo Uematsu. Fun fact, Yoko Shimomura. This is the composer of Final Fantasy 15 and Kingdom Hearts. said in an interview on the Square Enix official website that Battle Theme 1 from Final Fantasy II remains in her head to this day, and that the Final Fantasy II OST is her favorite work from Uematsu. That's some big praise right there, and that's coming from, thank you so much for the suggestion on Twitter or x.com/ffmerrill. Thank you so much for that one. Originally, Final Fantasy II was going to be a story of succession, where the king was dying, the sons would divide into factions, players would affect the story with multiple endings. These ideas would, of course, not make it into the final game, as they were just far too ambitious. So Sakaguchi had to reel it in, but man, was Sakaguchi just inspired and just motivated by Kawazu's ambition. So he had to reel that in, because guess what? This game came out 1 year, just about a year after Final Fantasy 1. That gives the development time. We're pumping these things out. And that was also one of the goals too, was to get, they were trying to catch up with Dragon Quest. They didn't want to be numbered below Dragon Quest. They wanted to have more numbers above Dragon Quest, which was at Dragon Quest 3 at this time.
Well, nailed it.
Yeah. Nailed it. Where's that Dragon Quest 12 at, huh? Yeah, come on, y'all. And that's really bad as a Final Fantasy fan, like calling out another game for their long development time. That's cool.
True that.
Final Fantasy 2 sold 46% more copies than Final Fantasy 1 in its initial run in Japan. So major success over there. And it was freaking highly praised. This game was fantastic, as it got a 35 out of 40 in Famitsu. That's pretty good. As Final Fantasy 1 got a 34 out of 40. So it's 1 point higher. Good job there, you know what I mean? The North American version of this game was planned to be called Final Fantasy II Dark Shadow over Palakia? Translation to English was a major hurdle. Not only was it time consuming, but the NES cartridges were maxed out in memory through the Japanese text. So English required more characters for proper translation, y'all. Isn't that kind of crazy? The character text limit was something that these games had to worry about back then in that era. So it was taking a very long time for the game to be translated for North American release, and by the time that they were trying to get it ready to go, they even had marketing and promotional materials going, and then they were like, "Listen, we're canceling it because the Super Nintendo was coming out, and they didn't want to release, and Nintendo didn't want it either, to release an old game for the NES. They wanted an SNES game. So work began on Final Fantasy IV's translation over to the North America, and not to confuse anybody, they called it Final Fantasy II over here. All right, that Final Fantasy IV was Final Fantasy II. All right, because they didn't want to confuse anybody. That's how that went down. So it kind of actually makes a whole lot of sense. If you really do think about it, that does make a whole lot of sense. If you're going back, and once again, it confused
me though.
It confuses us now. But if you think about it, back in the day when the internet wasn't a thing, right? We didn't have that connection to people overseas. Like I'm literally talking to right now. Like we couldn't do that back then. You know what I mean? Like, so there was like a disconnect. Games were coming out 2 years later after it was already released over in Japan. And it was a brand new game for North America. Like the only way that North America even heard about it was through like video game magazines or something like that. Oh yeah, this game's great over in Japan, and you have to wait. And so that's how that all worked out. So when it was ready for like, hey, we need a Final Fantasy for the Super Nintendo, and then like, you're not going to just release Final Fantasy IV, because North American audiences would be like, where's 2 and 3? And you're just like, well, you can't get it. So like it makes a whole lot of sense where they called it Final Fantasy II. So for anybody who's been wondering like, why the heck did they do that? There you go. It makes sense. And of course, before I get into the final piece of fun fact, which is just a little detail, this is kind of interesting. As Final Fantasy II, like, again, this is the game of beginnings for this, even though it's Final Fantasy II, but this is really where the series began, if you ask me. We got multimedia, right? We got multiple books were released for Final Fantasy II over in Japan. A couple side stories. We had some alternate retellings of this as well. We were following different characters. So yeah, it very interesting that they even had books releasing alongside this. Of course, that never made it over to North America because finally, the North America release was with Final Fantasy Final Fantasy Origins on the PS1, April 8th, 2003. Whoa, 1988 to 2003. So North America was finally able. Now, what about you, Jim? When did it? Was it 2003 for you as well over in the UK?
I think it was 2000. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I got it the same Christmas as I got like Final Fantasy X. So that would have been after.
It's like, oh well, okay, cool, man. We'll play this pixel game after playing the PS2. Yeah. So that's pretty crazy, right, y'all? So it was from 1988 to 2003, and that will conclude the fun facts of this. So once again, I'm going to hand this over to Wiley, and he's going to go through the story recap. You are encouraged to present your awards for the categories I mentioned before. So please feel free to say it. Just announce it like, hey, this is my award for blah, blah, blah. Let's go, y'all. And let me switch over to the transition there. Gonna make
another one.
We made it out without a battle. Good Lord, y'all. You walk into those empty rooms and it's like sometimes you get into like 3 battles. You know, it's like crazy, dude. It's like my son counted it because my son watched me play this game. And he said, you get in a battle every 2 steps in the dungeons. And I was like, nah, come on, man. I know there's a lot of like 1, 2, boom. I was like, 1, 2, boom. I was like, oh, snap. Whoa, this is the encounter rate is ridiculous. All right. So Wiley, why don't you kick us off with some cool story recap?
I'd be happy to. So our story begins when the Palamecian Emperor was up to no good and started burning down all the neighborhoods.
I got one little fight and we all got killed.
Yep, exactly. And then we went to Midwu and then got healed.
I woke up. We all got healed. That was good. For some reason, I was trying to go like, where he's like, you got to move to Bel Air. I was trying to get Altair in there, like Altair, you know. I was trying to get it, but I'm not quick like that.
Hey, we can work with that. All right, so, Emperor Mateus, the big bad, summons monsters from the fiery depths of hell to wreak havoc on the world. Remember this for later. Enter the ragtag heroes, Furion, Guy, Maria, and her brother Leon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So this is so I want to kind of stop right there because this is different for Final Fantasy II because you got named protagonists this time around, and they all have their own unique like character sprite. They have their own sprite. They have their own look this time around. You can't change it. So I thought that was cool. And in fact, I believe it was Kawazu. It might have been Kawazu. It might have been Terada. But either, or even Sakaguchi. But they wanted to make that a personal connection to the characters rather than giving the player that, the freedom to do that kind of to like change up your job class and appearance and stuff. They really wanted you to feel connected because this is a story, like this is a story-based Final Fantasy. Go ahead.
All right.
I'm going to chime in before you move on.
Yeah.
I'm going to go straight off the bat here and just throw out my best moment.
Whoa!
For the intro.
Okay.
For the intro.
Whoa.
And I'll tell you why. Because I rewatched the intro, because the Pixel Remaster has been the latest one I've played. And just the way it encapsulated the threat straight off the bat, this Emperor was very imperatorial kind of figure, just there, ready at just no remorse, setting the village on fire, and it just sets the scene straight away. Much different from Final Fantasy 1. I mean, Final Fantasy 1 had the text, and it was like the world is in chaos and all of that. But Final Fantasy 2 just kind of set up the threat straight away. You know who the big bad is, and you know what's at stake because you get thrown straight into that battle as well. And it really encapsulates it well. And I want to shout out the CGI cutscene because it does the exact kind of same. But I think the Pixel remaster encapsulated that cutscene even better to a degree. So
I'm actually gonna I'm not gonna choose it as my moment, although I initially was going to, but I do agree with Jen here. I just like when I replayed it on the Pixel remaster because I had forgotten all about it. Like it was almost jaw dropping for me. I was like, wait, we're doing this already? Like we're going here, and it's like, and it starts off. I don't remember how the text starts, but it's something like says something about peace, and then it's like ... like, and then it's like, and then we're into it. It's like is that like that boom, like, and it's just like, oh wait, holy crap, and then going from that straight into the like to the scripted battle, it's just like we're this is what you're in for, and I agree with Jen. Like just from start to finish, I think the opening is just incredibly strong, especially coming from Final Fantasy 1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, and not only is he this opening segment here where Emperor Mateus comes in and shoots fireballs, burns down the village and everything, but what's going to follow is also, we can just kind of like lump that into your intro as well, because I think this is such a really cool moment as well. So go ahead, Wiley.
All right. So yeah, the Empire demolishes the hero's hometown, Finn. And as the heroes make their escape, Imperial soldiers cut them down like grass. So this is sort of the first fight in the series that you're not intended to win. And I was playing this with my daughter, and she's like, I don't think I can beat these guys. And I'm like, watching her, one hit is dropping her guys. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. Like, this is rough. Yep.
What a way to set the scene, though. Like, set the whole tone of the game,
Yeah, storytelling through combat. It's great.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So Sakaguchi even said in that Pixel remaster interview, look at that, just cutting them down, doing thousands of damage. Sakaguchi said that he considered like movies, Hollywood blockbuster movies like Indiana Jones, where it just wants to start off with a bang, start off with something that's going to get people, like get people's attention right off the bat, and they did it there and got the award from Genesis. You know what I mean? Let's go.
Oh yeah,
very good choice.
All right, so Furion wakes up in Aafter, healed by a white mage named Minwu. Turns out Furion, Maria, and Guy have been rescued by Princess Hilda and carried away to a rebel hideout. But Leon, MIA. He begged to join the resistance, but Hilda says, too bad, orphans. She may not let us join, but she does. Too bad, orphans. Yeah, she won't let us join, but somehow she does trust us with her super secret rebel password, which leads everyone to believe that we're part of the resistance. So baby steps, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Too bad, orphans.
Too bad, orphans. Yep. We learn the phrase "wild rose" and are introduced to the keyword system.
This is really cool. All right, keyword system I love. What's your thoughts on the keyword system, Prof. Noctis?
I think it's one of those things that is a cool experiment, and it works to varying like levels. Because like as I'm playing through, it's like, okay, like I'm glad that I've got this memory bank of words, but like it felt a little strange to be like one and done for some of those words. The further you go into the game, but I love that they are kind of experimenting with kind of a knowledge base. It's almost like the very it's like the precursor to Harpocrates in Final Fantasy 16.
Yeah,
you just have a knowledge base. I think it's cool, but I would be curious how they would use it today.
Yeah, I really would love to see this actually return to the franchise, because I think it was a way to kind of keep the player engaged, to pay attention to what is being said, and you feel like you're part of the story. I do agree though, some of the times, like, or most of the time, I guess, you're asking the question and it's really not, people just question mark like what.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, you gotta ask me the right thing. Ask me the right thing. I'm not gonna talk to you until you tell me the right thing.
It would be really interesting if you could get different dialogue based on the things that you would say, and even like if you said "Wild Rose" to the like wrong person, they like took. I don't know. That would be a development nightmare, but it would be interesting.
Yeah, add some like
Yeah.
BioWare style
Yeah,
like
right.
choices and stuff. Yeah, that would be really cool to see play out. It just, as long as it's like within reason, like it affects the moment to moment, where it's not like,
Right.
it's not story altering, but like it still would be really fun to kind of see that. So I really did think that the key phrase system is really cool. I do like that. So. All right, so Wiley, you just jump in, bro. You just jump in there. You just when you
Got you.
Yeah,
I got you.
Boom,
I got
go
you.
for
All
it.
right. So we take the key phrase and we meet a barkeep in Finn and whisper wild roses in his ear. He reveals a hidden passage that leads to Prince Scott of Kashuan, who's dressed like Robin from Teen Titans, but he's badly wounded. Scott spills the
Nice illusion. I like that.
I saw that. When you play with your daughter, you notice different things.
Okay.
So he basically tells us that Count Borgin betrayed Finn.
Okay.
So as he lays dying, I'm sorry. Yeah. Scott tells us about Count Borgin's treachery. And as Scott lays dying, he gives us a ring to return to Hilda and goes back to the live stream. R.I.P. Scott. We deliver the ring to Hilda, and she invites us to be rebels with a cause. So
I have to stop here because I actually have 2 awards that I want to present. So we'll actually talk about. So I know we haven't settled on the playable character thing, but I took it, and I took it to mean that if they were playable in any capacity, they were playable character, and non-playable meant NPC. And so I was thinking really hard about who I would give that to. And of course the Emperor is a good choice because he's the antagonist, but I thought that was a little easy. And I actually came up with Scott as my best non-playable character. He's in there for like 2 seconds. But first of all, if you think about it, a lot of these characters are just kind of like, they give you their 3 lines of dialogue and they're done. But I actually think we learn a lot about him in a very, 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 very short amount of time. And I think it was actually really cool, use of character, like characterization, back in the NES or Famicom days, right? Like, he gives us useful information, tells us about this traitor. So, like, we know that he has this loyalty to the rebellion. He gives us this ring and tells us to take it to Hilda. And I think there was some line about like him not wanting her to know like his feelings for her because he didn't want to burden her with like a dead man's like feelings or something, like. And I just thought, like, okay, that tells us a lot about this guy, like. And you don't see that stuff from characters like ever, like, oh, don't tell this person because I don't want to burden them, like I'm gonna die and like I don't want the, like. I just thought that was really cool. So I have to give my best, like, if we're going like completely 100% non-playable, like actual NPC, I gotta go with Scott for that one. And then for best music, it plays somewhere around here. It may have already played by this point, but the Rebel Army. Final Fantasy 2
nice.
this is so good. There are a lot of good candidates, but I always come back to that one as my as just like, to me it just embodies Final Fantasy 2. I know the main theme is what's supposed to embody it, but yeah, the Rebel Army is great. I'm gonna give a shout out to the Pixel remaster, but I do think the PS1 the Origins arrangement, which I think was used in the PSP game as well, is also really good. It actually has like a section where like an acoustic classical guitar plays the main melody, and I think it's absolutely beautiful. So
just a little gripe I have about this, because what you said was it was beautiful, right? Scott What he had to say was great. Like you said, a lot of filled in, details needed. But this part right here, y'all. Like, let's see. Can you hear that? I don't know if you guys will be able to hear it, but it's not coming through, I guess. But anyways, it's so he's like, if you excuse me, I need to rest a little while, and he falls down, and it's like, you got Scott's ring. You just took it from his corpse, man.
Yeah.
You did it.
Yeah.
Congratulations. You got the thing you came there for. But it's like, man, you just died though. So like that was something I had to point out there.
It's like the first use of like the tonal whiplash that people talk about with some of these games. It's like,
yeah.
Final Fantasy.
I'm telling you, it's
gave us
beginnings.
so many firsts.
All right, so go ahead back with it.
All right, so we've just joined the Rebels. We learned some new key phrases: mithril, dreadnought, airship. A precise combination of words to activate Hilda's sleeper agent, Minwoo Blueberries Johnson.
Minwoo Blueberries? What were
If you've seen that Key and Peele skit with blueberries, check it out later.
No, we're gonna have to check it out later.
So the white mage joins the party, and he brings his canoe. I thought this was awesome, getting this that early.
Mm-hmm.
It was very different than the first game in that regard.
Yeah, getting the mode of transportation like right away. That was cool.
Yeah.
That happens. That happens quite a bit too. We're gonna see it.
Yeah, it really does. We head through the port city of Paloom, sail to Aafter, where we meet Sid.
Yeah.
First appearance of Sid. He's a silver-haired engineer chilling at the local bar. He can fly us to Salamand to meet Joseph, a burly, bald member of the rebellion searching for Mithril. All right.
Mm-hmm. What do you guys think of Joseph?
Oh, I love Joseph.
I like Joseph a lot. He is probably, I don't want to speak too soon, but he's probably my favorite.
Yeah.
I guess he would be playable. I don't know.
I know. This is where I'm at.
He's one of my favorite characters.
Chat, let us know, chat. I need you guys to settle something for us. Should we have the reward for best playable character and best non-playable character, or should it be best character in a leading role and best character in a supporting role? Let us know what you think.
In this game, it could be best character that sacrifices themselves.
Yeah, really could.
So many.
Yeah.
Just a special award.
Quite a few options.
A special award.
You might have more options. You might have more options than if you go with the characters that
really
Right.
that was the other thing when I replay this on Pixel, I'm like, holy crap! Like,
dude, I love it.
Gonna make it out of this?
I love this, man.
God.
Don't get attached. They're not going to be with you.
You start to learn that too, and but like by the time you get further in, you're just like, oh no, wait a second, this person's going to be my fourth. Oh no,
Yep.
You're like, oh no,
fourth slot.
Yeah, the fourth slot. Oh, that's not a good spot for you, man. Who's the fourth slot right now? Let me check.
50 chance on being a red shirt.
Oof,
for sure.
Sorry. Sorry about that, Steven. You're the fourth slot right there in the layout. Oh man. Oh,
damn it.
Woo! It's not looking good for you. No, I do want to comment on Salamand. Like I want to comment on Salamand because this is pretty cool, as it's the first time you see a snowy level in Final Fantasy, as it wasn't in Final Fantasy 1. So in my notes when I was playing through, I was like, man, these locations are varied. And I said the same thing where I was like, I just took a canoe, then I got in an airship and I literally flew across the world. In the first, I don't know, hour of this game, I'm already flying. I don't have control over the airship, but I am flying across the world. I got a canoe. And guys, Final Fantasy 2 is kind of an open world. You know, like we talk about Final Fantasy being a gated open world, but Final Fantasy 2, you can walk from one like the continents are connected on the map, so you could go up northwest and pop out southeast, and you can go around the world, and you can do that at the beginning of the game. Now, I didn't, because they have the extremely powerful enemies that kind of like, that's your gated exploration. The enemies will block you, but you know, if you're playing the Pixel Remaster version, on my second playthrough, I was like, I'll see what I can do here. You know, I just turn off the battles for the second playthrough, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go all the way over here, pick up some magic that you're not supposed to have until later, come all the way over here. So yeah, I mean, like look, you can see in the map right there in the top right, it had the continents where you can just, you know, it's open world almost. So I thought that was cool.
Yeah. All right, so Burly Ball Joseph's lips are sealed. The Palmetian Empire kidnapped his daughter, Nellie. And Borgen has threatened to get stabby if Joseph helps the resistance. Hostages are being held in Semet Falls nearby. So, we go spelunking, locate the prisoners. Joseph's daughter and Paul, revered thief, are among them. Keep her down. The sergeant protecting the mithril offers some to us, in the form of his mithril blade, straight through our hearts.
So, yeah, we'll keep going. I'll wait. Go ahead.
Okay. We fly, row, and walk our way back to Altair, where the weaponsmith Tobel forges some shiny new mithril gear for the resistance. Time to infiltrate Bafsk. That is the hardest town name to say. Bafsk.
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 Baths.
Yeah.
Everybody just said Bafsk.
One vowel in the entire word.
Yes. Yeah.
That's why it was hard to translate.
That's it right there. It was that one word, like, just threw the whole thing off for sure.
So check out Bafsk though, y'all. Like
See?
Bafsk.
Bafsk.
The one thing about Bafsk that's pretty cool is that it's destroyed, right? Like, so Final Fantasy 2 presents, like, the presentation of this game is fantastic, y'all. Like, when you arrive in Bafsk, it's one of the towns that that the Empire has, you know, just pillaged, and it's in shambles. Here we go. I'm getting into it. There we go. And you can see, like, holes in the buildings. This world is bleak, you know, like, and they constantly remind you, as I feel like the theme of this game is probably war, like that, like, just, and all that it entails. So, with Bafsk being destroyed, you can really get and of course the intro of the game, you really get in it, man. It's just driving it home. Not only is it driving home with the music that's playing in the overworld as you go through. There we go.
Well, I think that you've hit on something incredibly poignant about this game. You know, all of the storytelling, all of the tone and theme and all that stuff, it's sprinkled into everything, from the battles, the battle that you can't win, for example, to the towns that you're visiting. You're seeing war-torn, you're seeing before, you're seeing after, you're seeing characters come and go. And when I think about the enduring theme of Final Fantasy II, Minwu has a phrase at the beginning-ish where he says, like, all those who live must someday die, right? It is our fate. And the question of Final Fantasy II is that really it? You live, then you die? Isn't there something beyond that? Like, isn't there some meaning to what we're doing here? And you begin to see that in the ways that every village and every temporary hero kind of lives their lives before that expiration date, so to speak. And I think that that's a really powerful theme and story that's told again and again in this game.
Sacrifice.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right, so we infiltrate Bafsk. The Empire has enslaved the townsfolk to build a massive airship under a mysterious figure known as the Dark Knight. The ship is the Dreadnought, and it's ready to rain down destruction. Before we can reach the massive airship from the sewers, the Dark Knight shows up and takes to the skies. They don't call him the Dark Knight for nothing. He bombs Poft, Paloom, Gatrea, and Altair. Fortunately, the Altair hideout survives the attack.
Another awesome, like, this game is full of these moments, man. Like when I was playing through the Pixel remaster, I'm playing it with the I don't know, when I'm going to bed, I'm thinking about it and I'm like, dude, if they remade this game, like this game is freaking epic. If you're seeing pixel sprites, and of course they're bombing the towns and stuff, and it's pixel, they do what they can to represent that. But I'm like, man, this game has so many moments that are just and I think about, I mean, this game reminds me of Final Fantasy 16 a lot. And I really like, I like that. I say that with as a compliment, where I think both games are very dark, very bleak, and they've set the stage for you of this world in turmoil. So.
Oh yeah.
And
for sure.
And they both have a lot of spectacle, and like you can see where if FF2 were a modern game, like these would be like these huge set pieces. I'm not gonna bring up the example I was going to because we haven't gotten there yet. But like when Dan, when you were talking about, like you're already using the airship so early, I'm thinking of like how, that was like the big thing in the original one, and then like just right off the rip we're doing it in Final Fantasy 2. And so I think maybe for a lot of players there was, when you'd only played the first two, it might have been in their head like, okay, so like how are they going to top this? Like, but then you see like this freaking dreadnought like soaring across the sky, and it's like, oh no, yep, they're getting bigger. They're
yeah. God, the parallels, y'all, to Star Wars as well. Like there's the dreadnought, the Death Star, and then of course, I was gonna say, and there's even more ties there as well. I'll go through all the parallels.
I think Sakaguchi did mention about Star Wars and The Empire Strikes Back having some influence on the game.
Kawazu, he grew up watching Star Wars, Star Trek board games, Star Trek video games on the PC on Apple, and board games were a huge inspiration for him. So I thought that was kind of cool too. Just kind of throw this out there before you continue. There it is. We had just visited this location and it was looking fine, where Sid is at, and you meet Sid and everything's great, and now instantly you're like instantly returning to the village you just visited and everybody was happy, and now it's destroyed. So I thought that was
bad orphans.
Too bad orphans. That's I'm gonna put that on the thumbnail. Putting that in the thumbnail. Right. Too bad orphans. It's gonna be Emperor Mateus. It's like unimpressed face. Too bad orphans.
Oh my god.
Damn.
Did they have any towns in the original Final Fantasy that like that changed? Because like you have the town and then it gets destroyed. Did they? I don't ever remember them doing that in the original, but I may be mistaken. But like I feel like that's probably also like kind of innovative for FF2.
Yeah, right? Not destroyed. I think affected, but not destroyed. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Because you could revisit the towns after they were destroyed, I think, and it's like different stuff. If I'm not mistaken, in Final Fantasy 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And that really kind of hammers home this whole like theme of war and devastation, I think.
Right.
Anyway.
Yeah. All right, so King Finn is dying, and Minwu leaves the party to remain at his side. Sid tells us that we should blow up the Dreadnought's engine using Sunfire from Kashuan Keep. To enter requires the goddess's bell, located somewhere in the frozen north. Burly Bald Joseph joins the party with a snowcraft, and we slide our way to the snow cave. And it's dad joke time.
Oh, we got a dad joke. Let's go to the cool transition. No transition in here. There's no transition. Damn. Let's go back to no transition.
All right, so panel. Why do ladies love Guy?
Oh gosh.
He's figured it out.
I don't want to say it.
Well, there's a clean answer, and I'm going to give that one.
Is there? Okay.
English. Are you ready? English is his second language.
God dang, there's it.
Good Lord.
right, so yeah, we have to talk about the encounter with the beavers here. Come on.
Oh, my God.
Guy speak beaver. Of all the lines he has in the game, he's got
It is
what,
the
10?
best. It's the
Yes.
best line in the game.
Yes. Oh, okay. So, okay. So, yeah, Guy speak
Guy
beaver.
speak beaver. Yep. Sure does. He was raised by wolves or monsters or whichever version you're talking about.
Yep.
Just, little backstory.
So,
little bit of backstory for one of these characters.
little backstory for Guy. Might just be headcanon. Might be true. I don't know. We fight an adamantoise and retrieve the bell, and then we get bushwhacked by Borgin. Although beaten, he triggers a massive boulder. Raiders of the Lost Ark style. There's your Indiana Jones reference. And Burly Ball Joseph strains to hold it back. As we make our escape, he is crushed.
Damn.
And I have an award.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is my best moment right here.
Yeah.
Best moment. That is a memorable moment. Gosh, yes.
Sort of like combination, right? Like you have the cinematic moment. Obviously, it's a nod to pop culture at the time. And it's the first like seriously sacrificial move. And not to spoil, there are other characters that will make sacrifices later, but Joseph has a daughter, and that hits me just like on a different level. So I mean, and when you first meet him, he's so surly, he's unwilling to even help, and now it's all come full circle. He's literally giving his life for the party. So yeah, this is my best moment right here.
Yeah, and even like, dude, my sweet Nelly. Oh man, dude. Yeah, this is a great moment, man.
Little pixel tear.
Yeah, a little pixel tear. I might circle back to it, but
that's beautiful.
Yeah, I'll put that in there for you. Go ahead.
It also answers that age-old question of like what would have happened if Indiana Jones didn't get away from the boulder.
It does,
It's like they're asking all those questions about like, yeah, let's do this, except that the hero doesn't live.
Now we know.
But yeah, that was a good moment. I actually considered that one for mine as well.
Yeah. All right, so
oh god,
hearts.
How come this looks weird to me? Boulder, y'all. How do you spell it? Holy crap, dude! How do you spell Boulder? Did I get this
right?
B-O-U. Yeah.
B-O-U-L-D-E-R.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about, y'all. I nailed it. Come on, y'all. I nailed it.
First try.
Somebody's in second grade.
Yeah. Sorry, Professor. We're good.
What grade you giving him there?
Hey, I got it right.
It is midterm week.
So. I got it right, yeah. I got it right in the end. I pulled it out. Pulled it off? No, I didn't pull it out in the end. That was. Let's say that.
All right. So we head for Prince Scott's abandoned kingdom, Cashuan, to retrieve the Sunfire. We find Gordon, Scott's brother, who came alone but wasn't able to handle the monsters. He joins the party, and we locate Eagle's torch, using it as a vessel to carry the Sunfire we get from a red soul.
Let me stop here for a second. This isn't an award, but I would like to give an award to Gordon. I hate him. I think he is the worst character. You go from the GOAT to this guy. Okay, he's very Edward Final Fantasy IV coded, and I also don't like Edward. So he grows on me more than Gordon ever did.
He's the coward. Yeah. He's the coward, man.
That's where I am with Gordon, everybody.
He said least likable character right here.
He's most hated.
Gordon, man, he starts off as a coward. He's got a look. He walked into an empty room, got into a battle. But
traumatized guy.
Also, he sucks. Look at him with 172 health at this point. Yeah, come on, Gordon, carry some weight. He gets wrecked. You got to put him in the back row. Lacry.
You just need to hit him several times to a level up.
Yeah.
get that sweet HP.
Yeah, he was mostly dead the entire time I had him in my team. I remember this now. We'd get in the battle. We'd drag his lifeless body into the battle, fight, and run off without him.
Yeah,
Every time.
he's just Final Fantasy II Prompto the entire time, just dragging him along.
It's like, I'm not wasting a Phoenix down. Come on,
Which is funny sometimes.
Wow, that's awesome.
I actually have the most hated character in FF2. It's not Gordon, but
Okay.
I'll talk about him later.
Okay. Okay.
I want to jump in here as well.
Yeah.
Don't worry, it's not best character.
I was just about to say.
Okay, because I was about
Trashing my man Gordon.
I was wait. I'm going to jump in here.
No, I believe this Cash and Keep is where they play the Ancient Castle song for the first time, if I remember correctly. I might be wrong. That's going to be going down as my best music. There's just something about that melody. Just a
Oh yeah,
good. It's haunting almost. I love it.
And as a nice little Easter egg here, if anyone's played Bravely Default 2, they reused that melody for the battle theme.
that's
which
cool.
is just adds a little bit of just like ooh to it. But I do like that song. It's just a very personal preference. I spend longer in that dungeon, even though there's so many empty rooms in the dungeon anyway that we spend. But having that, there it is. It's just a nice track to listen to. Yeah. But screw those empty rooms in that dungeon. That is one of the worst.
Look, Jen, this is how bad it is, man. I'm trying to get the music to play from the and every time I click in, it's a battle.
Because if I remember correctly, when I was playing through that dungeon, I remember like going into those empty rooms. Even though on the Pixel remaster you have the map to a certain extent, but I don't think it shows the rooms until you go into them.
It doesn't.
So unless you're following a guide, you are literally right. There could be a treasure chest in here. I know that I've just been to 7 empty rooms, but this room could be the one with the treasure chest. You go in. It's empty. You take a step to go back out the door. You get into a random encounter. You press left by accident.
Oops!
Thinking, oh no! I've got to go back to the right.
I gotta take one step right, one step down.
Boom! Another random encounter.
What's the song called again?
I think it's called Ancient Castle. I'm sure it's called something along those lines.
Okay.
But all of the versions I like the 8-bit version. I like the Pixel remaster version. I think that's probably the best, and I do like the PS1/PSP version as well. It's just a nice track. Yeah, it really sets the tone for that kind of like abandoned castle.
It is Ancient Castle, and also somebody in chat saying that the volume is sometimes messed up. Apparently.
Volume messed up for us talking, or when I accidentally press play on the on the video trying to get Cash and Keep's Ancient Castle music playing, and then it just went. It was a battle theme. I was like, sorry about that. So is that okay? Now there's an echo and FFTV. You're super loud.
Oh. You're in that. It's that 6x4 empty room, isn't it? Bouncing off the walls.
Reverberate.
Every time.
Still reverberate.
Nothing awaits you there except your diabolical oblivion.
I'm not going to continue until we figure this out, y'all. Origami. How's that? Does that sound good?
Origami?
Origami's here. Now okay.
That's
okay.
Sorry.
Origami. Yeah.
We were just throwing out words. Sorry.
Origami.
Neat.
Val concurs that it sounds fine now.
He's like, I would like to ask about that one. I think that's the key phrase. I don't know. It just doesn't.
That's what I was about to say.
It didn't fit. All right. How about now? Am I still super loud?
It looks like they're saying it's okay now.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
We're at the
right.
111. I'll make notes so I can cut that out. All right, y'all.
But before we move on even further, there's one thing I wanted to mention right at the beginning. It's not a moment or an award or anything like that. It just came to my head when we were talking about the airships and stuff. But when you first go out onto the world map, like you get a different tone. We've mentioned like the way that the towns are changed over time because of the bombings and stuff like that. But as soon as you get onto that world map, you have the airship fly by. Just on the world map, it just flies by. And I think that just that subtle moment kind of sets up of like this world feels more lived in. Like Final Fantasy 1 was very I use the term A to B, very one-dimensional NPCs, but just going into the world map and having an airship just go across makes you think, oh, wow, this world's living. Like there's people like traversing. And obviously we travel on that airship a little bit later. I just forgot to mention it back at the beginning. I thought I'd just...
Yeah, I love that too. I think that's the first time it got me a little bit. I was like, what was that? Like something just zipped across the screen.
I don't think they did anything like that until Final Fantasy IX again. With when you get to Limblom.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So.
All right, well.
Nice. All right. Upon leaving, we witness Cid's airship being captured by the Dreadnought, which lands to refuel in the far south. And so directly south of the keep, we've got the Chocobo Forest there. So we, this is the first time you see a Chocobo in the series. You get that sweet theme music. And now you can just book it all the way down there. No battles. Fantastic.
That desert is horrible to traverse as well with some of the enemies in there.
Yeah.
Yep. So we track the Dreadnought down and board the massive ship. It's time to free Cid and Hilda, who was apparently aboard Cid's airship when it was captured. We cast the Sunfire into the Dreadnought's engine, Mount Doom style. The Dark Knight appears in the engine room, and Maria recognizes his voice. There's no time to ponder this as the ship goes up in flames. A little plot twist.
I'm gonna jump in for best dungeon / level design for the Dreadnought. I just think you've seen this airship already, like go across the map and do all these horrible things, but now you're inside and you really get a scope of how big this battleship is, and again sets the tone for the Emperor and just the overall vibe of what they're doing to the world. And I liked it as a dungeon, especially this ending scene that's playing now where you destroy it as well. Full circle.
So me and Jen are on the same wavelength here, because that was like my second choice too. Like again, just like with opening. So
nice,
really cool moment, and I'm tossing it up right now whether or not this is my best moment, but I think it is going to be my best level design. But we're going to keep it going. I might have to do my rewards at the end. I think I'm tossing up a few. But yeah, that is such a cool level design, especially since it's been such an imposing threat up until this point. Like, it's the Death Star. You know, this is like kind of the trench run, you know. So.
Yeah. All right. We return to Altair to find the king dying. He lays out his plan to reclaim Finn. Minwu will head to Mysidia, the town of mages, to find the ultimate magic. Gordon will lead the charge to strike Finn directly, and our party will head to the island of Deist to enlist the Dragoons. Hilda is acting strange and retires to her bedchamber. We book passage with Layla, a pirate captain, and set sail to Deist. En route, she earns her title of pirate and attempts to rob the party. When we defeat her and her crew, she's impressed. She crowns Firion the new Dread Pirate Roberts, handing over her ship.
Okay, one second, sorry. When you switch to the award screen, it makes the audio get messed up. Let's see. It says I'm back.
Let me refresh.
Yeah, I've refreshed the stream. It seems to be.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we're fine now.
Okay,
yeah, we good.
We're back.
I think I'm gonna stop the awards. I'll just add them at the end.
Fair.
Yeah, we're not gonna break that again. Dang, I'm gonna have to re-upload. I bet. Again. Anyways, or just edit it out. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Just let me know if this is running smoothly for you, so we can keep going. I want to make sure. Aragami, you're awesome, dude. Thank you so much for sticking in there and letting me know what's up.
Yeah, huge shout out to people in the chat that let us know.
I know, right?
Like, y'all are real ones, because we actually, when you're streaming, you don't know these things. Like, you can't hear.
Yeah.
And so, huge thank you to people in every chat everywhere that do that.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Thank you, chat.
Everybody's saying it's good.
Thank you, chat. I really appreciate that. Fix
Yeah.
it in post. We'll fix
Yeah,
it in
hey.
post.
That's it.
It's only
Professional
more
talk
work.
there.
What's a few
We
more
are
hours?
back. We are back on like all the
Okay.
FF2 characters that died.
Oh.
Oh.
Ooh, we're back like Emperor Mateus. Spoiler alert.
We
Oh.
should be having a death count here. Like, how many have died? Like, what's the kill count?
I legit think I lost count.
I did.
Playing
Like,
the
that's
game.
why I'm like, we should be counting.
All right, so we had Joseph. He was the first one, right? No, Sid. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there was
Scott was very
Scott, yeah,
Scott,
there you go.
yeah.
Oh
yeah.
man, sorry, Scott. The best character award from
Case in point.
we freaking get about him. All right. R.I.P. Scott.
All right.
Joseph. All right.
Never forget.
R.I.P. Scott.
Always in the house.
Yep. Always in our
Somebody give us that item chime though, real quick.
We got his ring.
Took your ring.
Let's go
I found
ring
something
collecting.
shiny.
Thanks for
Right.
The dead body on the floor. He's like, I got a shiny ring.
Ooh.
Damn. All right, Wiley, take us away.
All right.
bro. We just blew up the
Yes.
dreadnought.
Blew up the dreadnought. We heard the king's plan, and we talked to Layla and get her ship after kicking her butt. So we reach Diced, and a woman there tells us that all of the dragoons have fallen in battle. Only a single wyvern remains, and it has been poisoned by the Empire. We must locate a pendant in the Diced Cavern to speak with it. Turns out it's a mama wyvern, and she entrusts us with the last wyvern egg. We place the egg into a healing spring at the bottom of Diced Cavern to incubate it. Yep.
I will never be able to call it anything other than Wyvern.
Wyvern!
Wyvern.
Wyvern.
It's a Wyvern.
Wyvern. The wyvern.
I used to
All
call
right.
it a Wyvern. That was what I.
Wyvern?
a
Wyvern?
Wyvern,
It's a shame these games are voiced now.
Yeah.
All those
It is
mistakes we used to
wyvern.
have about pronunciations. You kids will never know.
Ifrit.
You'll never
Come on,
know.
Oh my
man.
God.
Ifrit. Never
Oh,
forget. Hashtag never.
I used to call him Bahamut. Like, put the Bay in Bahamut.
Put the
It's
Bay
really-
back in Bahamut, bro.
Yeah.
I used to call
Oh.
him Bomahute for some reason. Like there was
Bomahute.
there was no
Oh, I like
letters that.
that.
made that make
Yeah.
sense. Why was it Bomahute?
Everybody, we just couldn't
Bamahute.
read. That was the problem. We could not read.
This is how we learn to read.
This is how.
It's like you go to
Or
school,
like-
yo, you get that
It-
Bomahute 0, man.
It was bad when you were getting like more complex words in your video games than you were like at school.
In your school? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What's
A roll tide to that.
What's
Holy
funny
crap.
about that? What's funny about that is Rebirth came out, and me and my friend were talking. I know this is
Oh,
off
I
topic. We and my friend were talking about Rebirth afterwards, and he was going through it. he said, oh yeah, man, and you know, and then he said Bomahute, and I went, I was like, oh no. And he's like, I had to correct him, and he went, dude, you're the one that told me it was Bomahute.
Yeah.
So sorry, man. Sorry, Rob.
Bahamut. Bama.
All right, go ahead, man. Let's get through this. Let's get through this
Nice.
story.
All right. Okay. We return to Altair empty-handed, and Hilda invites us to her bed chamber. for some
Ooh, let's get
fun
spicy.
dialogue.
Let's get
I know.
spicy.
Plot twist.
She hasn't heard about Guy apparently.
Said, yeah. Yeah. She will. The Hilda we rescued turns out to be a Lamia queen in disguise. And the real Hilda is actually being held as a prize in a tournament at the Coliseum.
Hold on a second. No,
Was it?
I would like to make my award. No, I'm just-
Oh.
I was about to say it, Dan. I was about to be like, hold on, we gotta listen.
Hold on a second, yo. Wait a second. I like this erotic moment where.
I did mention on Twitter that not all the music is composed by Uematsu.
You
and
did?
I just want to point out that this is one of those. This is one of those things.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah.
God, look, we get the
Yeah,
bedroom background
Yeah,
for this too.
yeah, this
Yeah.
is like a really old piece of music
Yo.
by who was it? Tchaikovsky, I think.
Okay. But I
Wait,
mean,
this was from Tchaikovsky? Are you
I
serious?
believe, yeah.
I don't know who that is. So who is that? Can you guys fill me in?
He's a Russian composer.
Oh, nice, awesome.
He's
amazing.
he's actually an inspiration for a lot of video game composers. You
Yeah.
hear a lot of Tchaikovsky in video game music, actually.
Nice. You know what? This is my award for best moment. No,
This right here.
I mean, this was gonna get best music, best moment, best character. Like, yo, the Lamia Queen had me, y'all. Like, I was like, dude, when she transformed, I was like, we still going or what? Like, I was like, okay, it got better. Like, surprise! I was surprised, but I mean, I'm still down. Like, I'm still.
Final Fantasy 16 was not the first mature mainline
That's
Final Fantasy.
very
Right
true.
now.
You know,
Yo.
as they say, everybody dies, not everybody lives. So live it to the fullest right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Come on, mate. Hey, you know what? I looked at the Lamia Queen and I said, ain't that bad. You know what I'm saying? Ain't that bad. Ain't that bad.
Would.
Look at that. Look at that sprite.
Dan was calling her
My
the Lamia
God.
Queen.
Oh.
I said that joke.
Now I do want to jump in to actually hand out an award here.
Oh.
Here he's doing it. He's actually going to do it.
Remember, it's late where I am. You know.
It's getting late, y'all. I'm here talking to you guys.
This is I'm throwing the award for best battle for this one.
Oh,
Okay, that's a good battle. Yeah.
Because I feel like this is one of the boss battles where it really kind of tests where you've kind of how your progression has gone so far. Like, what routes have you taken? Because this Lamia Queen busts out some status effects left, right, and center, like all over the place. And you really need to be on your toes with this battle, and it is a test of patience and a test of your skill so far. And playing it recently, like it was the most enjoyable for me because I'm like, I got this, because first times, this is probably one of the bosses you're always going to get a game over on, just because you're not prepared for the status effects, being sent to sleep, confused, everything else in between. But also, like, if you get really lucky with this battle, she drops a ribbon. So for your troubles in getting all those status effects, you can be rewarded for a ribbon. So I just think it's just overall the story leading up to it, being fooled that she's that she's Princess Hilda, and like being duped and being like, oh, we're being seduced now, ooh, and then straight thrown into a battle is like a very deceiving battle. I just think it all just fits in nicely, and it's best battle.
Jen, I got to agree, man. Like, this is I might even put this down as my best battle as well. I got one more that I'm gonna take a look at before. But when I had that in my notes, I kind of had the same kind of thing where I was like, dude, I'm dealing with status effects. I'm dealing with I like battles that make you think. You know, I like the battles that are you have to find the strategy. So and then also, you know, it is the only battle that uses a unique background of the bedroom. I mean, that kind of adds to the aesthetic.
That's actually the main reason, but I was keeping that. I'm just kidding.
Come on. And yeah, I mean, so yeah.
Love is war.
I mean, that's the thing.
All right. It's time for a random encounter.
Random
the Warrior
encounter.
Pipe.
Oh.
Warrior Pipe. This is hitting you, buddy.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, we're doing the kiss, marry, kill.
Oh, are we now?
Oh.
Lamia Queen, Maria,
Oh.
or Layla.
Oh.
And Layla. You got to
Layla.
assign all three. Yep.
Oh.
Now that I know how you swing here,
Oh,
this should be interesting.
well, I mean, listen, the bedroom was inviting. The Lamia Queen came out. Lamia Queen, I don't know what you want to call her. It didn't, honestly, the name didn't matter. When she transformed, I was still ready. So kiss. All right, I'm saying so kiss. Maria, Mary. Dang, I'm really sorry, Layla. I'm really sorry, Layla. I'm really sorry. But I mean,
she won't be alone.
I would have killed her, but the story told me not to. So
True.
yeah. So I
She
mean,
is a forced lock character.
So I mean, yeah, there you go. Lamia Queen, baby. I'm still
All right.
I'm still there.
Sir, you survived the encounter.
Mhm.
All right. So where were we? Palamecium Coliseum. All right. So we lock horns with a behemoth.
Major Trenton
and this-
said Lamia Queen, all three, baby. All right.
Nice. All right. Well, the Behemoth in the Colosseum, that's going to be my best battle. Not because it's hard. It's not. It's just super iconic. It was a good surprise. I didn't actually know it was in the game, so I really enjoyed it. So yeah,
like that. Okay, best battle Behemoth. I'll make note. I don't want to switch
keep it simple.
Screens. Okay, keep
going.
going.
Behemoth wasn't in the first game either, so I was a fan of that. But yeah. Okay, so after the Behemoth, we attempt to assassinate Emperor Mateus. Epic fail. The Emperor tosses us into the dungeons.
Yeah, it was a trap.
It was a trap. All comes to the rescue. Hilden and Gordon escape on their own while we draw the guards' attention. The rebel army camped outside Finn plans its attack. Furion, Maria, Guy, and Layla lead the charge and defeat Gotos, a demonic beast. Gordon and Hilda teach us 56 new keywords, which is a reminder that Sleeper Cell Minwoo hasn't returned with Ultima. We grab the white mask in the basement and then sally forth to find Minwoo and the tome from the Mysidian Tower. So first we'll need a black mask from the tropical island, which we'll place on a doppelganger in the maze-like cave of Mysidia. And after acquiring the crystal rod, we can finally head for the tower. Or so it would seem. Nope. As we approach, we're swallowed by Leviathan. Shipwrecked and separated from Layla, we work our way from Leviathan's innards to the mouth. With the help of Rickard Highwind. Go ahead.
This is a really cool scene. I don't know what it looked like on the back then, but the Pixel remaster, this looks awesome. Like I really like this. It did feel like it came out of nowhere. Like I was like, oh, do we really need to get swallowed up by a Leviathan at this? I don't know. Like it felt weird. Everybody who's inside of this Leviathan, I'm like, okay, I don't know. This moment felt out of place when it happened, but in retrospect, like looking back on this, I actually kind of thought this was cool. As the Leviathan, if you know the lore of it all, where the Leviathan is to protect the Mysidia Tower that is holding the ultimate magic spell Ultima, right? So the Leviathan is here to protect that. And then if you go even deeper into the mythology of it all, where the Leviathan, and I'm sure Prof. Noctis can kind of fill us in on a little bit more on that as well, but like where the Leviathan is, what isn't like swallowed up, and you are you have to, oh gosh, is it like withstand some trials in like it, or you go to hell or you go to heaven or something like that, right?
Well, it depends on a lot of different mythologies, but essentially, the Leviathan is kind of agent of divine in a lot of ways. So there is this connection to paradise, but especially chaos. Leviathan is a chaos monster and stuff. So you're going to be getting into some of that. I do think that it's an interesting depiction here that the ultimate magic, that is both the solution to the pandemonium or the chaos of the world, is also a like wreaker of chaos as well. And so that's an interesting callback to some various mythologies. But yeah, anytime you've got something that is this, it's like this bridge between the living and the dead, but also like the divine and the earthly, Leviathan could definitely rear its head.
Yeah, so like it goes even deeper with like mythological references and stuff. And Final Fantasy 1 had some, like we had the Kraken, we had Tiamat and things like that, but this is the first time where I think we're seeing how Final Fantasy takes from those mythologies, and we'll see that throughout the rest of the series. Like like this is those inspirations, those roots.
Yeah, and this could be my nomination for best level design.
Nice.
I was about to say the same thing.
Oh, nice. You want to go first?
Oh, no, you take it away. Because I got another nomination right after you're done with this one. So you go. Okay,
perfect. So, I mean, I just liked everything about the visual design. And then you've got the stomach acid tiles, do damage, kind of reminiscent of Mount Gulg from the first game, right? You've got teeth that you can see. Most of the monsters that you fight are fish, so I thought that was kind of inventive, right? They've all been swallowed too. The boss is literally like this giant stomach worm. And this is where we meet Rickard Highwind. Like, there's just like a whole bunch of things that happen in this level, and it just created a really awesome like dungeon experience, very different from the rest of the stuff you see in the game.
Steven?
Yeah, I agree. I really like this whole. I really like the whole design visually. I just think it looks really good, especially the pixel remaster. Again, I never played the original, so I can't say how it looked there. But I'm assuming that relative to what graphics looked like back then, it was still probably pretty cool. And like Wiley said, the like the stomach acid kind of as like the lava and stuff, I think is really cool. The pre-rendered like backgrounds and stuff in the battles, I think are great. So I really, I don't have a whole lot else to add other than what he said, but yeah, I agree. I think it was cool, and it goes into my second nomination, which is it introduces my favorite, I guess now we'll say my supporting character, which is Rickard Highwind. He is our first. Nice. He is our OG Highwind, and this very long running series of badass characters whose last names are Highwind, and then he is also our first Dragoon. So Kane can sit down. He's awesome. We love Kane, but you are not the first. I love Dragons are my favorite job class in Final Fantasy. So I couldn't I actually almost gave it to Layla because I like the pirate stuff too. But she does because I also thought it was interesting that she she tries to rob us, but then when you kind of like beat her in battle, she like grows to respect you, and then ends up even helping the rebellion. But yeah, I have to give it to my man Rickard, who actually I think in like the Origins translation was called Gareth or something, like he had a completely different name. But yeah, I think Rickard is a great character, and I'm not going to spoil everything else. But his story, like he's a real one. He is a real one.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, he also gets my best character design.
Oh, nice.
The twofer.
Like that.
Sweet.
He's a twofer for me.
Oh, he's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got solid art too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, take it away.
Yeah,
Lila.
especially. I was just gonna say, especially in the PSP version. I think in the PSP version, like the sprite work is really good in that one. So anyway.
All right, so we can finally head for the tower with Rickard. Beat a series of elemental gigantes. I think that's Greek. And fire, ice, and thunder flavors. What feels like the longest dungeon ever. Eventually, we find Minwu at the Chamber of the Seal. He uses his life force to break it open. And he goes back to the live stream too.
It's funny you say it feels like the longest dungeon ever because, like, look at the timeline where it's like Lacry, by the way, awesome, or LA Cry, not sure, but so awesome. Got it segmented. But watch this, boom, 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 Obsidian Tower, like the entire, like a huge chunk of this gameplay. But go ahead.
Now I want to call quick attention to the music here. Now this is not my first pick, but it is my second. Like, it was in the running. The Magician's Tower, I think is what it's called, the song.
Oh yeah,
like a harpsichord. It was really surprising, like how well put together it was for something that it's like a minute 20 loop or something like that. Really good track. But yes, that was in the running there for me. Okay. Okay, so we take Ultima and return to Fynn. Discover the towns of Altair, Gatria, Paloom, and Poft have been razed by a destructive cyclone.
Yeah.
Threatens to tear the world asunder if the party cannot figure out how to stop it. So Hilda explains. All right, yeah, go.
Hold on, I think this might be my best moment. Trying to bring it up here. There's the cyclone. The Wyvern saves him. I'm gonna call him Wyvern. Wyvern saves him.
Wyvern
takes him away. You have to battle against this freaking cyclone. Look at this freaking awesome cutscene. I don't know what this looked like on the NES, but this was hype. This was freaking hype for me. So this might be my best moment. And also the reason why it might be my best moment, was because it, like you said, it wreaks havoc, man. It just absolutely destroys all of these towns that you have been visiting. Like, yeah, we got it earlier on in the game where it was destroying towns like Bafsk, but like, the Dreadnought and stuff. But this was Altair. This was your base. This was like, this is a more personal attachment here, and the fact that it gets destroyed. So this might be my best moment. So I'm gonna go ahead and say, look, even as you walk by the world map, you can no longer visit. I didn't have that up. Of course, we're in a battle, but you can no longer visit some of these towns that you visit at the beginning of the game. And if you're like me, you talk to a lot of these residents, and you talk to everybody that you could, and that they were there. Like all of these people you met, just got wiped out. And I think, man, I just think this is a cool moment. So this is probably my best moment.
I was also gonna put that as my best. I have another one. I have a backup.
See, look, you just walk by that and it's just destroyed. Yeah, like we're seeing it on the. I love seeing this stuff. The presentation is so good. Seeing it on the world map constantly throughout this game, you are reminded about how bleak things are.
That's awesome.
That was going to also be the moment. One of the things that I was talking about in reference to FF16 and like the set pieces and the spectacle, like the Cyclone. Like when I was rewatching stuff for this episode, I came across that and I'm like, oh man, this reminds me of 16.
Yeah,
like it's like this could have been in 16. Yep.
Absolutely. Okay, we infiltrate the fortress inside the storm and defeat the Emperor. It's party time at Finn, but the celebration is interrupted. Turns out the Dark Knight is Maria's missing brother, Leon, and this dude just crowned himself Emperor. Yeah.
Do
Sid?
you really think you can kill me? And then Maria has to stop, break this up. I almost want to say Leon is my favorite, but I'm gonna hold off on that. But yeah, he was power hungry because of what happened. He chose a different direction, and he went power hungry, trying to overthrow the Emperor. But look at this, dude. As you can see it right now, the Emperor comes back from hell.
Yep.
I am the Emperor of Hell. You know what I mean?
And this is best moment for me.
Yeah.
Moment, right?
Nice.
Oh, I love that. Yes.
This is my nomination. Yep.
The world can have but one emperor. Yeah, I am he.
You think you see where the story is going, because it's like, oh, okay, well, this Dark Knight who has this like cool design, he's going to be your big bad. He even looks like he's going to be the villain. Like he kind of has that Garland look to him. And then it's just like, nope, like this Emperor that you killed, you thought he was dead. No, even hell couldn't stop
Yeah,
him.
all the powers I gained in hell, and your blood will be the first to spill. Ooh, come on. This is hype. This is good.
Yeah.
I mean, Emperor Mateus is freaking awesome, yo. And then look, Rykard, call the Wyvern, come get him.
Wyvern.
Look, this whole scene. I'm just letting it kind of play out. This might be my freaking moment too, dude. I don't know.
It's a good moment.
There's so many good moments. It's so hard to pick one. Like, there's so many good moments in this game.
So I just thought, okay, the only reason why this moment may not get my nomination, because I feel like there could have been more. There could have been more build up to this, and of course we're dealing with the era of the NES. We're dealing with that short development cycle and everything. But I feel like Leon could have been fleshed out more to where his moment of redemption was a little bit more impactful, because he literally just says that he's, it just almost seemed like a weird snap. He's changed. He's a changed man. He's going to help out. It's just almost, it's like, all right, fine. Call the Wyvern and you guys get out of here. Even though I just said I have no plans of handing over my empire, and all this other stuff. Like I just said, I'm about to cut down Furion, but it's, I don't know. So this moment is epic because of the Emperor. Yeah.
All right,
I think that this moment is probably my favorite as well. Just because it does bring back Leon, in a way that is, I don't know. You wonder from the very beginning, where did this guy go? What is happening? Like, and it's not really mentioned too much. It's just like, oh, well, he's gone, and then you get like the parade of death. So it's like, well, yeah, I guess he's dead because everybody's dead, and then you get to this point, it's like, oh, one made it. And then he joins your party, and I love that. And it's just a great moment, that entire Leon sort of arc. The other thing that I'll say, you said that you wanted a little bit more build up, and I think today that is definitely an argument. But when I think back to these old games from 1 all the way to 6, really, and even 7 through 9 to a degree, not as much. So much of what we used to do playing these games was imagining, and imagining what, there would be those kind of lunch table conversations of like, hey, what do you think happened with Leon, or what do you think happened with this? And there's so much filling in the blank that happens just by playing the game and talking to others and thinking about it, where it's just not spelled out for you like it would be today. And I think there is something good about that kind of storytelling, even though we've kind of left it in the past.
Yeah. So I'll make you feel better about almost picking Leon as your best playable character. I'm gonna go ahead and do it, and I'm gonna tell you why it's a great choice.
Okay. I love that. All right, thank you.
I'm gonna piggyback off of Prof here. So Leon, aka the Dark Knight, aka Bruce Leon Wayne, right?
Bruce Leon.
So let me paint a picture here, okay? I want to deepen everyone's appreciation for this little parallel. So there's this whole Paradise Lost vibe going on with this, right? So in Paradise Lost, Satan starts in heaven, but is cast into hell. This directly parallels Mateus's journey. He begins as emperor, and when he's killed, he's cast to hell. And he returns misshapen to take his revenge. And in Paradise Lost, Satan returns as a serpent. Satan corrupts Adam as Mateus corrupts Leon, right? Mateus's fall leaves Leon in a position to advance and become emperor, aka eating from the tree of knowledge, making himself like a god. So when confronted by Maria, aka Eve, in this little Paradise Lost equation, Leon begins to return to righteousness. In Paradise Lost, it's literally Eve's love that brings him back. Leon rejoins the party to conquer Mateus/Satan. Then after Mateus goes down, or after everything goes down, Leon has been forgiven by the party, but hasn't accepted his forgiveness because he hasn't forgiven himself. So another little interesting theme here is that he walks away still in need of absolution. So anyway, thank you for coming to my Final Fantasy 2.
I love that, bro. Come on.
That's talk awesome. On why Leon's the best. Yeah.
That's great. That was freaking fantastic. Like that. And you know that Paradise Lost is a freaking source, I would say, for this.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I got more to say about that. I want to hear Prof say something because I got more to say about this. In a minute. We'll wait.
All right.
All right, so let's see, where were we? Okay, Rickard sacrifices himself in the ultimate bro move.
The ultimate bro move.
Yep. The Dark Emperor raises Castle Pandemonium. There's another Paradise Lost reference right there, right? The fortress of the Lord of Hell. With Rickard gone, we're going to need some help. No longer the Dark Knight. He may not be the hero we deserve, but he's the hero we need right now. Leon joins the party. Time to prepare for the final battle.
There's your there's your body count, by the way. Maria let you know. Joseph, Minwoo, Sid. I called him Rikard. Maybe I was wrong about that. Maybe Ricard is cool though. I like that.
Yeah,
and Ricard.
I think it's Ricard.
Okay. He's like, yo, listen, I know. All right. It's Ricard.
Ricard. I've been saying Rickard. You guys can stop me and correct me.
You're fine. Rickard. All right. So.
All right. So
yeah, Jade Passage.
Yeah, go.
Now go ahead.
Not quite. There's sort of a little quote unquote side quest you can do here, right? So if you go back to Diced one last time, There's a woman there that thanks you for saving the wyvern egg and letting her see Rykard.
I'll mess you up.
Yep. And she has a sword laying around she gives us. No big deal. Just Excalibur. So, that's where you get that one. There's nothing left but to head to the Jade Passage. So we enter Pandemonium from the bottom. Talk about a back door to hell. Inside the castle, we cut down the Emperor's most powerful minions, all manner of demons, including undead Borgin, on the way to the throne at the top. When the choir kicks in,
this
is
my award. This is my award for this was my best level design and best music. Pandemonium.
Same.
Freaking awesome.
Pandemonium was going to be my second. I knew somebody else was going to be all over it. And again, Final Fantasy 16, the Pixel remaster has a very 16 vibe with Pandemonium.
It's amazing, and when the choir hits in the Pixel remaster and Pandemonium, I just lose my mind.
Yeah.
That
so
choir
good.
that choir is next level, man.
Oh man, Pandemonium. So it gets my best level design and my best music. I love Pandemonium. Not like as a place, but as this place.
I live in Pandemonium.
On a t-shirt. T-shirt. I love Pandemonium.
And I remember when I was streaming Pandemonium, we talked about a couple of things. Pandemonium is all demons, or place of all demons, right? Pan meaning all, demonium, or is like a place of demons, or all of the demons all at once. And that's really such an interesting thing in this game, as like the final push, right? All of the wickedness, all of the evil that you've experienced throughout the game, all of those demons and wickedness are here. You've got the god of death, the god of war. You've got Beelzebub, Baal, Satan type things. You've got all of these things, and I think it's kind of this encompassing of this is a battle against ever-present cycles of evil, and it culminates right here in this. It's not just wars, but it's a root for all of these things. And to me, that is like such a great moment, and almost cathartic for the player of like, okay, we're bringing an end to this chaos that has been brought into it again. So I don't know. I can't say enough wonderful things about Pandemonium. I just love it.
Agreed. Wiley, finish this thing out, man. We're so close.
All right. The Dark Emperor literally calls down meteors to crush us, but he's no match for Excalibur, Ultima, or the power of friendship. We do what heroes do best and take him down. All right. Returning to Castle Finn, Hilda, Gordon, Nellie, Layla, and Paul.
Wait, we gotta read what the Emperor says here, because this is important.
Yeah,
yeah, it's very important.
The hand of man, which deals in false justice and forsaken love, can never hope to defeat the Lord Master of Hell. All right, so cool. And then we're gonna get to the end of that. If you have the blood sword, you can kill this thing in like.
That's what I was saying. Dude, that is my favorite moment in the game, because all of my grinding, all of my beating people up during battles to level us up, it all didn't matter, because in the end, the blood sword in 3 rounds took him down. I don't know if you used the blood sword. I was hitting for 5,000 every time with this guy. It was so good. It was nice to feel overpowered.
Yeah, a little overpowered there. I actually don't know if I used the blood sword, because I didn't know any of these like details or anything like that.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's crazy. I used a lot of Ultima, which is a little fun fact there about Ultima is that originally in the Famicom version, the original release of this game, this is a fun little story that I got from Silicon Era. Let me go up to it. It says Silicon Era reports on this, so that way, here we go. This is coming from a blog from one of the programmers who worked on Final Fantasy II, Hiromasa Iwasaki. They wrote of a programmer in quotes, because no specific name was mentioned. But, as I said at the top of the show, Nasir Gabelli was credited as the programmer. So we can only assume here, but again, assumption. The programmer chose to make Ultima a pretty useless spell in the Famicom version, rationalizing that an ancient spell would prove to be like not as powerful as it was then. It wouldn't be as powerful now, as magic would have like evolved since then, has become more sophisticated. So the original intention, though, was to actually make Ultima extremely powerful, and it would be all the more powerful based on how many spells that the player knew and mastered, and the level of all their spells. So Sakaguchi was not happy when he found out that this was a thing. So the story goes that he approached the programmer and told them that, hey, fix it. And then this is what the programmer responded. As for those who struggled and ultimately acquired it to find out that it's useless, well, that's something that happens often in life. So I'm not going to fix it. And that was... He said he wasn't going... He told Sakaguchi that he wasn't going to fix it. So Sakaguchi said, just give me the source code. I'll fix it myself. And the programmer had ciphered the source. So he was the only one that could access it. And they couldn't get rid of the program. Like, they couldn't get rid of him because they were too deep into the game. So it was just left the way it was. So in the Famicom version, Ultima only does like 500 damage. It does barely anything. And so I thought
that's infuriating.
That's infuriating. Yeah. So like being headstrong, like I feel like that's cool, man. Like Sakaguchi, we talked about it in Final Fantasy 1 where he was headstrong. He was like, no. We want to print this many copies. We want it. You got to print more copies. And Square Enix was like, no, we're good with this. Or Square Enix. Square was back then.
Square.
So Sakaguchi actually took that game to other publishers. Was like, who's going to give me more copies? And then Square found out about it and was like, all right, come back. And they actually applauded his ambition there. But the programmer here, like, I get his, like, maybe it's like, okay, cool, man. I like your headcanon here. I like where you're going with that. But it does not. Did somebody fill you in on the story? Because, like, is somebody letting you know what the story is actually about? Like, because we spent the last half of the game, like, we spent a good chunk of this game looking for Ultima. And Minwoo just sacrificed himself for the spell. And the fact that you're telling me...
500 HP.
Yeah, it's just not going to do it. So it didn't really match up. But, of course, Iwasaki says that he can't say for sure whether the story from Sakaguchi, this was coming from Sakaguchi, if he was telling the truth. So, but either way, it makes for a good laugh, is what he said. So, it could be Sakaguchi making that story up, but, I mean, he's a kidder. You know, who knows? But I thought that was funny. I don't see any other reason why they wouldn't made Ultima.
I would be so mad.
Yeah, I would have been pretty upset. Thankfully, it's been fixed in every future release. So.
Yeah, I mean, that spell is hyped up from so early on.
Yeah.
It takes a lot to get it. It's just like, man, yeah.
The philosophical programmer is what XCOM
says.
So anyways, I wanted to share that with you guys. Unbelievable! Defeated by insects like you. Not once, but twice! Alright, that's what the Emperor said. Who are you? And then he dies. And then he dies. And in this moment, I don't consider it canon, but it could be, if you want it to be. In the Dawn of Souls game, this one, the bonus dungeon is Soul of Rebirth, and the Emperor had split his soul in half, one to conquer hell and the other to conquer heaven.
Like a Horcrux, okay.
Yeah. And then those who have died, Joseph, Minwoo, and the others, Ricard, they defeat him in heaven. So I mean, I don't consider it to be part of the story, but it's a cool dungeon, and like it makes Mateus even freaking what the heck, like this dude just conquered both afterlife.
Right.
That's the expanded universe like novel of Final Fantasy
It
2,
is.
like the Star Wars expanded
Yeah, no
weird shit like that all the time. That's what that is.
Yeah. All right, so we are at the end of the game.
All right. So yes, we return to Castle Finn, where Hilda, Gordon, Nellie, Layla, and Paul all wait to congratulate us. And as
They made it.
and Paul,
They survived.
Paul revered thief.
They survived the
Yeah,
calling.
And as Guy so eloquently puts it, war finally over.
Yeah, war finally over.
Guy,
Furion!
man. Freaking guy.
Leon takes his leave because too much has happened between the party for him to stick around. Maria protests, but Furion says they'll be waiting when Leon is ready to return.
Very Kane coded from Final Fantasy IV.
I was about to say that, yeah.
It feels like they used him as a prototype for Kane.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of Kane stuff going on here. But like maybe it's just the way Dragoons are,
Leon was not a dragoon.
Yeah, he's not a dragoon.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Dark Knight.
Dark Knight.
But he was a traitor.
Reichard, my bad.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. Riker.
He was a traitor.
He was a traitor, though. That was his job class. Freaking traitor.
His job is beach or traitor.
Oh, man.
Nice.
So there you go.
Cecil failed on that ordeal.
Jen, how do you feel about that ending? What did you think about the ending?
Me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jen. Genesis.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty strong ending. I think you go from all the way from the beginning and like just like I said for the favorite moment, just the overall threat. Like this guy is going to be a pain in the butt throughout the game, which he was. But then when you get to Pandemonium and you finally go through the trials and tribulations and defeat him, and you've lost people along the way, many people along the way. You've gone into many empty rooms, many random encounters, but just like the satisfaction of like you've used all the keywords and you're now back at where it all began essentially, and you're being like thanked, and Leon's came full circle almost. Even though I agree with like I wish we could explore that a little bit more, that journey. I think they did that better with Cecil essentially in Final Fantasy IV. I think that if Leon had that similar kind of story, it'd be a lot more effective in his character development, and we wouldn't be like, "Hey, dude, why are you backing up party?" But yeah, I think it's a pretty strong ending, and we saved the world, and it's a very satisfying saving of the world. Yeah. I think.
And then the ending right here with Nelly. Come on, y'all. I'm sure my dad's happy for you too, up there in the clouds. Oh, come on, man, y'all. Yeah. Dang, man. Freaking Joseph.
Yeah, I mean, we get to see their ghosts too, right? Sid, Minwoo,
Joseph. Oh, little Star Wars again with the parallel.
Looking on you.
It's a very crowded room with all the ghosts.
There they come. They're good. Joseph like flickers.
Mm-hmm.
You said Joseph? Yeah, that's cool. I like that little. I like again Star Wars parallels. That was cool. It's the story of sacrifice, the story of war. War finally over.
There it is.
There he goes. Yes,
finally over.
What a game, y'all. So we've made it to the end of it. It's a fantastic game. We're going to rank it, but that video will be up later in the week, and it's going to be a little bit of a quicker video for you, so you can click in there and just see where we rank this, as we're only ranking it against Final Fantasy 1 at this point. So that's kind of cool. We're just find out. We got the OST, we got the battle system, and the progression, the level progression. So that's lumped into one. So we're going to rank that. We're going to rank the villain. We're going to rank where it is in the overall series. So if you're excited about that, I hope you are. And you can go ahead and tune in later in the week and we'll see you then. I want to say a big thank you to everybody who was in chat. Thank you everybody who was keeping me updated on any audio issues. I'll try and iron those out in post. And I hope you guys enjoyed this series. One thing that I would love from you is some feedback. So if you think something it can change to make this series more entertaining, to change up the formula of the series, let me know. I want to kind of make this series something that people will go back to and watch and you guys enjoy and stuff like that. So thank you so much for that. You guys have a great day. Take care now. Bye then.